Bet it up, Chad. Bet it out. I bet. We got another fern video. Why the world's biggest aquarium broke. I guess this motherfucker has sharks in it, so. So it look like sharks in it.
December 15th.
We finna see what's going on.
2022, 4 p.m.
Oh, this wasn't too long ago.
It's a wintry, cold afternoon in Berlin. However, here in the lobby of the Radisson Collection Hotel, in the heart of the city, you wouldn't feel it. Guests are lounging on comfortable armchairs and sofas, perhaps enjoying a drink from the atrium bar of the five-star hotel. Their gaze often wanders over the centerpiece of the hotel lobby. Directly above the bar is the world's largest freestanding cylindrical aquarium, the AQUAUIRIUM. It is breathtaking. Standing at 16.5 meters high, it holds 1 million liters of salt water.
Dang.
Since its opening in 2003, the aquarium has been home to over 1,500 tropical fish. It has become a popular.
How many?
It's been home to over 1,500 tropical fish.
Okay.
It has become a popular attraction.
Like species or fish in total, like that's in there. If it's the largest, I know it could fit more than 1,000 fish.
1,500 tropical fish. It has become a popular attraction. The elevator ride through the interior of the aquarium is a highlight for many guests. Often, they even choose rooms with a view of the aquarium.
Okay.
After dinner, they observe the underwater world right from their bed as they fall asleep.
That's hard. That's tough.
In the early morning hours of the next day, the peaceful slumber comes to an end.
Dang. But like, Chad, if you own the aquarium and some shit like this happen, this your biggest attraction, folk, and it break, like, what's your next move, gang? Like, what do you even do? Like, do you just try to rebuild it? Like, get the glass and the fish and what do you say, 1 million liters of salt water? God damn, nigga. Alright, I need to see how this happened. It's not funny. I need to see how it happened. Let's just watch. Let's watch.
1 million liters
Check
of
it out,
water
fo.
rush through the hotel lobby like a tsunami. The water masses sweep everything in their path. A hotel employee on the ground floor is pushed through a wall. The salt water crashes through the front of the hotel and pours onto the street outside. It is an absolute miracle that no one died during this incident. Had it happened just hours earlier, how could this have happened? Building a massive aquarium is quite a challenge. An understanding of math and physics does not only come in handy for aquariums though, but also in everyday life. Brilliant gives you skills that can
Y'all keep trying to get me, bruh. I ain't going for that, bruh.
Fire department is on the scene. Somehow, no one died. Only 2 people suffered minor injuries. Then Berlin Mayor Franziska Giffey says in an interview,
Wenn das Ganze nicht um 5:45 Uhr passiert wäre, sondern auch nur eine Stunde später, dann müssten wir jetzt wahrscheinlich furchtbare, auch menschliche Schäden hier berichten.
Nonetheless, the scale of the devastation is staggering. The force of the rushing water has left a trail of destruction. At least 6 other shops next to the hotel were damaged. Debris was swept onto the street. Nothing remains of the cozy living room atmosphere inside. Instead, there's chaos, destruction, and countless dead fish. Very few have survived the rupture of the aquarium. Those that did are rescued. Immediately, the investigation of the case begins. Why did the AQUAUIRIUM burst? Unfortunately, there's no surveillance camera aimed at the aquarium. So logically, they speak with the people who
They don't have no surveillance camera on the world's largest fucking aquarium, nigga? Huh? Okay.
Maybe they saw something. One of them is
And
a
it was
42-year-old
2022?
hotel employee named Jorge.
Okay.
Martin.
Let's keep
Martin
going.
is on the night shift.
Let's keep going.
Actually, it's not supposed to be his shift today at all. He spontaneously.
I heard too much
filmed
dumb shit.
a
I just.
colleague. It's a normal
Just
Thursday
keep going.
evening. He's sitting on the ground floor of the building, in the back office at the computer, maybe 20 meters away from the aquarium. Then, it's no longer a normal night shift. He hears a loud noise. He gets up and walks towards the lobby to check, but he doesn't get far. Just seconds later, he's completely underwater.
Oh,
The water
shit.
bursts through a non-bearing wall and drags him with it. He lands in the Lindt chocolate shop right next door, buried
Oh,
under all sorts of
shit.
delicious debris. He can't move. But he is conscious. He can breathe and calls for help. Every 30 seconds, he tries to attract attention. The fire department arrives and hears his calls. They slowly remove the debris above him until he is freed. On the way to the ambulance, Marin can hardly believe how lucky he was. He just survived the burst of the world's largest freestanding aquarium. On his way out of the chocolate shop, he grabs a piece of candy. Nonetheless, Marin couldn't see what caused the aquarium to burst.
Yeah, we need to get to the bottom of this, chat.
So there are no surveillance recordings, no witnesses, speculations,
No
or
witnesses.
eyes. The Aquadome is a cylinder made of
Not gonna lie, I think it was cameras. And I think it was witnesses, my nigga. And y'all know exactly where I'm going with this. Y'all think they knocked him off the map? Y'all think they got him gone, gang? Slime season shit. Type shit.
of acrylic glass. Despite its name, acrylic glass is not a glass in a traditional sense. It's a type of plastic. The material is particularly popular for its break resistance. It is considered a construction material that remains stable for a long time. Nonetheless, investigators and the public first suspect material fatigue be the cause of the catastrophe. Was it perhaps an act of sabotage? Did someone damage the aquarium by firing a gunshot? Was there an earthquake, or did movement in the substructure lead to the rupture?
Somebody shooting an
Theories range
aquarium
from
is.
temperature fluctuations and control.
Hey, somebody shooting an aquarium is like. That nigga need to be put in a fucking asylum, bruh.
Construction errors to the use of the wrong cleaning spray. The hotel owner, Union Investment, wants to know the exact cause, so they hire acrylic expert Christian Bonten and material examiner Robert Kirchner to get to the bottom of this whole mess. Every single piece of aquarium glass is collected, from the hotel lobby to the street. Bonten and Kirchner start examining the shards. Each piece is photographed, numbered, and sorted by size. The Aquadome is not reassembled, but rather unrolled and laid out on the floor in a warehouse in Brandenburg. They reconstruct where each shard was in the Aquadome. With this technique, they may be able to find out where the damage began. A gigantic 700-piece puzzle emerges. It occupies an area of 578 square meters and weighs a total of 90 tons.
I would hate
Every
doing that
professional
shit. I ain't gonna
puzzler
lie.
knows that you should start with the edges. The experts do the same. They identify the edge pieces mostly based on their thickness. The cylinder wall is thicker at the bottom edge than at the top. This allows them to slowly figure out where each shard
Oh, they
was.
figured it out.
This puzzle takes months. Some glass fragments are even examined under a microscope and chemically analyzed. In October 2023, expert Christian Bonten presents their final results.
Okay, they
have
figured it
three
out.
Possible hypotheses for the damage.
Glue?
When the Aquadome was built in 2002, the aquarium was not transported in one piece.
When was this built?
When the Aquadome was built in 2002, the
2002?
aquarium was not
So it broke
transported
20
in one
years later?
piece. The American company, Reynolds Polymer Technology, was hired to build the acrylic tubes.
Nobody in Germany has the technology.
15 acrylic panels were manufactured in Colorado and brought to Germany. It was an incredibly complex construction project.
Pull it, Willem! Swing right a little bit.
Yeah, we swing right now.
Okay, now. Down, 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 down. Stop!
In the future lobby of the hotel, the individual parts were then carefully connected and glued together. How exactly they put the acrylic panels together, without visible seams, remains a company secret. Then the acrylic is meticulously polished for leaks. As a result, the view of the fish is as clear
As looking out your window of your office.
After months of work, the construction is finally finished. 1 million liters of salt water are filled into the aquarium, and only a short time later, the first inhabitants are allowed to move in. The Aquadome is completed. It becomes a popular attraction. Sometimes there are even guided tours.
We are now standing in the world's greatest freestanding tank, and the only one with an elevator. The most famous fish in this tank is the small blue fish with a yellow tail fin. This fish is known by almost every child in the world of story from the movie Finding Nemo. It's the pellet surgeon fish.
But almost 20 years later, the Aquadome is destroyed. It's possible that an adhesive seam came loose in December 2022.
Dry spell. What is this?
Such a huge aquarium, with all of its marine life, naturally requires a lot of work and care. You need to make sure that the water is always at the ideal temperature for the tropical fish. That they're doing well and are being fed. Every day, divers swim in the Aquadome and clean the aquarium. The view of the fish always has to stay as clear as the view from your office window. Sometimes, though, it also needs more intensive care. It was noticed that the gaskets at the base were leaking and water was dripping into the lobby. This didn't matter for the stability of the Aquadome, but an aquarium still shouldn't drip anyway. Between 2019 and 2020, the Aquadome underwent extensive renovation. For this, all the fish were removed from the aquarium and the water was completely drained. But here's the thing. When acrylic absorbs moisture, the surface expands. When it dries out, it shrinks. This can cause small cracks to form on the surface. It could be that the aquarium wasn't refilled with water soon enough. This might have caused the wall to dry out, leading to tensions in the acrylic glass that may have caused cracks.
Hammer and chisel.
The experts also came across photos of the renovation process. On these, they saw that the renovators were using a hammer and chisel. It's possible that they unintentionally caused a small notch on the gasket during their work. Over time, this could have caused a crack. For months, the experts worked tirelessly on this enormous puzzle. Yet, in the end, it remains incomplete. Ultimately, they can't pinpoint the origin of the crack. All three hypotheses are possible. Maybe a combination of them played a role. Unfortunately, and quite unsatisfyingly, there isn't a definitive answer. But the Aquadome burst led to other important discussions. Numerous dead tropical fish, 2 injured people who survived a traumatic event, damage in the tens of millions. After the disaster, animal welfare organizations criticized keeping tropical fish in giant aquariums. One organization argued that it should not be allowed to use fish as living decorations in the first place. According to NABU, fish are sentient and are highly developed vertebrates that should not be kept behind glass just for our entertainment. Instead of living in their natural habitat, these fish are crammed into a glass tank. PETA even filed a criminal complaint with the public prosecutor's office in Berlin for animal killing. Aquadome isn't the first big aquarium that broke. In 2012, the glass of an open-air shark tank in a shopping mall in Shanghai, China, cracked. The cause was probably a combination of sub-zero temperatures, warm water, and weak material. 16 people were injured. These tragedies might raise concerns about the safety of such huge aquariums, but also fundamentally ethical questions about keeping marine animals in captivity. Should we do that in the first place?
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna forever be like an aquarium, bro. Cause you gotta think about the amount of money that motherfuckers already spent. They not finna say, yeah, I'm finna close my aquarium down cause y'all said so. No, nigga, they finna keep getting money. What the fuck? But like, I understand that too though, like, cause motherfuckers getting injured. But them like weak ass aquariums y'all going to, y'all gotta stop going to them weak ass aquariums. Them motherfuckers won't burst in your face.